Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We began actually this week a new book, the book of Deuteronomy, the last book of the 5 books of Moses. So that's a great moment because it means that when we blessed ourselves last week, saying may we go from strength to strength, meaning may we continue from one book to the next, we're actually now going from strength to strength. But it's actually even more than that. The book of Deuteronomy is a very special book. The name of the book in Hebrew is Devarim, which means words or things. And the book itself, but even just the word that begins the book, Devarim, words or things, makes you think, what are all these words about? The Torah, the 5 books of Moses, is obviously made out of words, of things, of statements, of saying, trying to teach us, to give us mitzvot, commandments and good deeds, to show us, to present to us a way of life. And the book of Deuteronomy, the book of Dvarim, actually helps us when we come to ask ourselves, what do I do with all those words? What do I do with all those teachings, with those great moments of Torah? How do I make them part of my life? How do I deal with them in a way? And in the book of Deuteronomy, in a very famous statement, actually a statement that Jennifer just sang to us so beautifully, we have kind of an answer, or at least an option to be an answer. So the book of Deuteronomy is actually saying to us 3 things. The first thing that the book of Deuteronomy is saying to us is Shema Israel. Hear, O Israel. We're supposed to listen to what the Torah is telling us. Not only to listen, sometimes we kind of like when you speak to someone that you, or they speak to you, and you're just pretending to be listening. If you are my Bnei Mitzvah class, then you would know what I am talking about, because that's how they react when I speak to them, and definitely when their parents speak to them. So Shema Israel means to really listen, to really pay attention. And then Jennifer sang to us the Ve'ahavta that has a line in it, Veshinantam levanecha, and you should teach them to your children, to the next generation. So it's not only to listen to the words of the Torah, to the teachings, to the mitzvot of the Torah, but it's also to pass them on to the next generation, to make them part of our tradition that is passed on from one generation to the next. So far, I didn't really give you an answer. So what if I listen and what if I pass it on? What does that actually mean? And then comes an addition that we added to the Ve'ahavta that says, Leman tizkor, for the reason that you will remember. It's not only to learn, it's not only to pass on, it's not only to listen, it's also to remember, who am I? What am I supposed to be? What does it mean to be part of the people of Israel? And then it says the most beautiful statement, Ve'item kdoshim, and you shall be holy. If you really listen to the Torah, if you really pass it on for the next generation and the generation after that, it might lead you to be who you ought to be, to a life of sacredness, of holiness, to a meaningful life in this world. Shabbat Shalom.